Astral Chain looks so good! Every time I see this game, I am more and more impressed with Platinum's dedication to making such a cool Switch exclusive. When it was first announced, I was like everybody else, or the majority it seemed like, who did not give it a second thought. I was just thinking, it looks cool, don't know if I'll try it though. It's just another anime game on the Switch. But after this recent E3, I can easily say this is one of my most anticipated games coming to the Switch this year. Every time they showed off, I just keep thinking, show me more, I want to see it. And if I'm going fast, let me make it a bit more clear. We're talking about Astral Chain, a game made by Platinum Games for the Switch. It was shown off in like February, it's coming out in August, and this is a little video I am doing because I want to talk about it and just express some of my thoughts on it. Now that that's out of the way, this game is crazy. Like I said, in February was when it was first announced, and it comes out in August. That is insane timing for what looks like such a high quality game. Normally, with something like this, you wouldn't be thinking it's coming that quickly. You'd be thinking, oh, this is going to get delayed for sure, or this is going to turn out terribly. But from everything they've shown off so far, I'm just more and more hyped for what I passed off, as I said, it's just an anime game. But, like, it's really cool to see it, and to just see its growth from when it's first announced, and I'm stuttering over my words here, blah, but to the point now where people are actually recognizing it and getting excited for it. If you are unfamiliar at all with Astral Chain, it is essentially a action game. It's being developed by Platinum Games, and it is set in a dystopian world where remaining humans have gathered in a mega city. They're protected by an elite police force that you're a part of, yay, called Neuron, and basically they're like the super cops. They fight against aliens that are attacking them from another universe or dimension or whatever. Bonus tidbit is that Astral Chain's director/creator is, forgive me if I say his name wrong, Takahisha Tora, I hope I said that right, who worked as the game designer for the really infamous Nier Automata. That game I never actually played myself, but I heard a lot of good things about it, and people seem to really like it, so it's cool to know that there is a well-known game developer out there making a really cool game for the Switch. The big feature of Astral Chain is the ability to control two characters at once, mainly being your avatar, who you're going to be actually playing as, and then your semi-AI, semi-controlled by you, dimensional counterpart, and they are called the Legion, which are connected to you via chain, of course. After the recent E3, like I said, this game has gotten a lot more attention, and it is really easy to see how much love the developers have put in it. They've put so many play styles, so many things to do from just what the little we've seen in the gameplay trailers and trailers themselves. For many, they have compared its combat to Bayonetta, especially because its creator, Bayonetta's creator, Hideki Kamiya, is in charge of supervision. And again, I really am sorry if I'm saying these names wrong, but I just really think this is such a much more unique idea, especially just with that swapping legions mechanic on top of a really versatile main character. In total, there are 5 different legions, being Sword, Bow, Beast, which is essentially a giant wolf that you can ride, Armor, and what I believe is an axe, or a greatsword, something along those lines. Each is unique and just provides different combo and mobility options to the player themselves, so that is really cool to see. It's a way that you can kind of enhance your actual experience without your character having those abilities themselves. My favorite so far is probably the Beast one, because you can ride him. Yeah, that's why. Oh, who's a good boy? Yeah, you sniff out the nasty bad guy. Oh, but seriously, I'm also really interested in the Axe Legion, aside from the dumb jokes. He's a heavy and slow type of attacker, but just has this really cool shield mechanic that when you attack him, or when you swap to it and you're about to take damage, it just creates a shield around you. and still allowing you to have a Legion that basically protects you, but also gives you the ability to do a ton of damage if you combo it correctly. On top of all of this, the Legion can also be controlled by themselves, so you can control them one-on-one, or you can just set them loose on their own and tie them into your combos and let them kind of take care of a different enemy while you take care of another. It's just really cool to see the way that they've managed to incorporate this two-player kind of style where it's not actually two-player, but it almost feels like it because of being able to control that second character or creature on screen. There is a limit, however. There is an energy bar that limits how long a Legion can be out and how many. So, for instance, if you put multiple Legions out at once, that bar will drain even faster. But there is a way to upgrade it, as we saw in the E3 trailer, so not too worried about that. Probably fine at some point. You'll have it where you can just release them for a really long time. Then, of course, there is the main avatar, who is very versatile. Yeah, I said versatile again. Don't get mad at me. I like the word. They use a special baton, which is giving me serious After Earth vibes. It morphs into a bunch of different tools. We first see it as like a gun at the beginning when they're riding on a motorcycle, but then it also transforms into like a baton, and I'm sure it does a bunch of different stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a grappling hook setting, possibly. Who knows what else they could do with it. However, for me, the biggest draw of the game is its twofold combat system, where you work with the Legions to split up or chain some really amazing combos. I mean, one way that they showed off multiple times was how you can take control of the Legion yourself, stand still, and make the Legion wrap around an enemy or an NPC, and it will effectively freeze them in place so you can give them damage or subdue them. It's really, really cool to see. It's one of those features that isn't exactly necessary or may seem overpowered, but it just makes me happy to have it in a game. And then, of course, there's another one where you can use the Legion to launch you into the air and give damage together. This all just looks amazing, and at the same time as you're having this really cool combat, everything looks gorgeous. Speaking of its looks, Astral Chain's graphics and cinematics look phenomenal, especially for a Switch game. A lot of credit probably goes to the art style, which was what I caught my eye from the very beginning. I really thought it looked like Breath of the Wild. I'm like, is this like a sci-fi futuristic Breath of the Wild? Of course not, but still, it was really what got me interested in the game in the first place and kept it in my mind. Even when the screen is packed with enemies, it seems to hold up amazingly well, especially considering how fast the action is and the cinematic finishing moves. Now, this is all well and good, but really, I'm just excited for the amount of different playstyles they've managed to cram into this game. This is a sci-fi police game after all, and what with bike chases, high-tech investigative segments, small and giant boss fights, puzzle elements, I can just really see myself getting invested in the world and story for just so many hours. While it may not seem to be fully open world, I'm okay with that. At the moment, I'm thinking it'll probably be broken up into missions contained in specific hubs, and this can be a good thing. This leaves room for exploring and finding side missions, while still allowing for narrative and level-based quests too. Not to mention, there is also apparently a hidden porta potty in every level, which is hilarious as far as collectibles go. So you can bet I'm going to try and find and use each one. Like I said earlier, there are investigative segments too, and I just wanted to touch on those briefly. Those were also what caught my eye in the first trailer, but way back in February, where you're walking towards this bridge and all of a sudden it's collapsing, but there's all these characters that are like silhouettes, and you can see all of what happened in your playing view, and then turn it on and off. It was such a cool feature, and it really like enforces that police aspect of the game. It's just something that like isn't exactly necessary. I guess it is necessary if you're making a police game, but still, it just looks cool, and it just looks like a fun element to experiment with, especially because it allows you to see clues that you normally wouldn't be able to see. So for instance, you can see like the monster's footprint or alien's footprint, whatever, and you can then ask questions about it or see the action as it's happening rather than trying to guess what happened. Really, this is just the tip of the floating robot sword. There is so much to unpack with this game. There are skill trees, there are character customization, there's Legion abilities, there's the plot, which, oh boy, there's a lot seemingly going on there, and there's just so much more to get into. I really want to give these more attention. I want to talk about them in their own videos, just leading up to its really, really rapidly approaching release date in August 30th. I can't believe it's coming at the end of summer, which kind of stinks, but at the same time, I couldn't really ask for a better release date. Just among the many, many titles we've got to look forward to after E3, this is definitely one that you'd want to keep your eyes on. Lastly, I'd just like to say thanks for checking out the video. I really appreciate it if you stayed to the end. Be sure to let me know what you think about Astral Chain so far. I love hearing the community's thoughts on recent games, and I've just really enjoyed sharing my own thoughts in these types of videos lately. If you would like to see more of me awkwardly talking about games, the links will be on the end screen. You know what to do from there, hopefully. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.